Well, I've talked quite a bit about my love of the Great British Baking Show. And after binging every season on Netflix, it inspired me to really step up my baking game. I know a lot of you feel the same way. You get done with an episode and all you want to do is make a sponge. Well, luckily for me and all of you, there's a great spot, really great, where you can learn the basics of baking and make desserts actually seen on that show and actually other shows. I took a trip to the Way Cool Cooking School in Eden Prairie. Okay, Mary, so you know I love the Great British Bake Off, and this is one of the recipes that they do in the show.
The sponge cake, which has a very...
Mary says sponge.
I should tap into my inner Mary Berry.
Inner Mary Berry.
Sponge cake. So today, I'm going to show you how to make a red velvet, chocolate buttercream filled mini Swiss roll cake.
That will not fit on a graphic. By the way, it's too many words. Too many words.
We're gonna take an egg and crack it here. And then what we're gonna do is add tons of air. Start whipping this up until you notice that it is light in color and it's foamy and frothy. You can go ahead and take over there and practice.
I am Mary Berry's long-lost gay son.
I love it.
Yes.
And while you do that, we're gonna combine all of our dry ingredients. I have a little all-purpose flour, some baking powder, and then I've got a pinch of salt and some cocoa powder. Those are our dry ingredients mixed.
So this is what we want it to look like. I wish the show would show you. If this is so important, and it is.
Take the time out and say, like, this is the foamy stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely. To this mixture, we're gonna add our liquid ingredients. What we're gonna do is instead of stirring and deflating all your hard work, we're gonna slowly start to stir in our granulated sugar.
But slowly.
Slowly. We're also going to add in a little bit of vegetable oil. And then in this container is a little bit of vinegar, and then we also have our vanilla. And then to that, we are going to add our red food coloring. A little dabble do ya, as they say. You're gonna see it's gonna start to pop and really turn bright red as we fold that in. We're gonna add some dry things, and then the last thing we need to add is a little bit of buttermilk. I always call it like funky milk, because it's got a little extra tang.
It's a little tang.
A little tang. It's one of those ingredients that maybe you don't always have in your kitchen unless you are a biscuit maker. And so by adding acid to milk, it makes it a little funky. And so if you don't have buttermilk at home, you can add a little vinegar. You can add a little lemon juice. You want to just use your cocktail bartending super skills.
I do this most days of the week. And that's all that buttermilk is?
Yeah, and it's gonna, you can see it turns like funky right away.
Yeah, there's the funk.
We only need 1.5 teaspoons of this. And you can see it's a deep, rich rust color.
It looks like a kidney.
A kidney. I've made little tiny cake pans out of tin foil with parchment paper, and then they're oiled so that this is gonna be easy to remove so we can roll it up later. And I'm gonna pour it right in the center of the pan. Take the pan and I whack it on the counter, and that forces any like giant air holes to come to the surface. And then I'm gonna let you make your very own sponge, and then we're gonna bake them off and see what they look like.
Okay.
All right? So I feel like we should have like dramatic timing music on in the background for you to feel like you have like the pressure to make this fast here.
I don't really need that. Okay. Oh, hell's bells. I need to start adding the sugar.
So that's the salt. You're doing a little bit better than I am even.
I'm glad you said that.
The student has passed the master. We're gonna put this in the oven for 7 to 10 minutes. Really like sponge cakes. Because they don't take very long to bake. In this cup, we have 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. We're gonna take and tap this, and what this is gonna do is it's gonna prevent the hot cake from sticking to the towel. We need to flip these cakes as soon as they come out of the oven.
This is where I need confidence?
You just need to believe in yourself and flip it over.
Oh my goodness, that scares the crap out of me.
You got this. Excellent. Okay, now I do know. No, that's okay. That's good. That's good. We are actually going to take and roll this up like a sushi roll with the towel.
Like this?
Yeah, just keep rolling. You can let it sit on your counter for about 30 minutes. Or you can stick it in your freezer for like 5 minutes. This is where you want to really make sure that your cake does not crack.
I'm very nervous, Mary. No crack.
These 4 fingers are what are going to squeeze the frosting. Ooze frosting back and forth in the middle of your cake. As Mary Berry would recommend, you want like 1/3 of filling to 2/3 of cake. Re-roll the cake. So we're gonna roll toward us this time.
Okay, I'm very nervous.
This is the part where the cracks will show if you have them.
Look at that. I did it. I did it.
We are going to grab a big knife and we are going to cut through this. So it's kind of like a sawing motion without sawing your fingers off. Oh my goodness. I see the swirl. I see the swirl.
I got the swirl.
You got the swirl.
I got it. I got it. I got a swirl. Look at me. Oh! Look at my. Now that is a good swirl.
That is a good swirl.
Get that swirl. Look at that
So
swirl.
we got a good swirl here.
That is very important in the Great British Bake Off.
This looks beautiful. Good. Delicious.
You know what? I'm pretty good.
Mary Berry would be pretty proud of us.
I did this. I was telling the audience, if you watch the Great British Baking Show, you know the secret is not cracking that dough as you roll it. I was so nervous. I really was. That school was so great. The Way Cool Cooking School offers classes for kids and adults. And they can do, you can, if you want to do something from the Great British Bake Off, they can organize a fun party for you. Go to waycoolcookingschool.com, and we'll put this whole segment on Facebook a little bit later. Still ahead.